And I've been a motorcyclist, a serious motorcyclist since 1982. I had a Nighthawk 650 by Honda, kept that for 13 years, and then started moving up to a little larger bike, and currently have a Shadow Honda Spirit 1100cc engine. And I look at it this way: this is my therapy. If I'm going to spend that kind of money on a psychiatrist or something, I'd rather have something a little more tangible. So I'm still trying to figure out how I can write the cost of the motorcycle off to medical insurance. What do my friends think about me riding a motorcycle? There's some question as to whether somebody in my demographic age group should really be doing it, but I ride with a motorcycle club, and some of our members are well into this demographic age group and even older. We have one rider who's 78 years old and his wife is 72, and each of them have bikes and they ride with us occasionally. So it's great therapy, and certainly there are dangers. But I don't concentrate on the dangers. I try to be as alert as I can and enjoy it. Here's the challenge. My bills and statements are no longer just an accounting necessity. They're the way I communicate with my customers. The career that I enjoy now opens a lot of different avenues, and I'm always exploring new ways to increase the financial base, shall I say. You think of educational television, UNC TV, probably you think about the 3 R's. Well, let's talk about the 3 E's: education, enlightenment, and entertainment. So whether it's more involvement in acting, or whether it's in the corporate community, radio, television commercials. So why settle for a lot of the real facts and the real savings at Dickinson Buick Dodge Fayetteville? I would also like to expand into some other areas, and some opportunities may open there.
What the hell are you trying to pull, Talbot? She's your witness.
Hey, Darnell, did a really great job out there today. Way to hold on to that pigskin.
Thank you.
A little something for you. Keep up the good work.
Being able to do this has given me opportunities to grow in other areas and to do things that I would not have been able to do had I stayed in the broadcasting business. In 1960, I moved to Winston-Salem, and this was my first jump into full-time radio and commercial radio. It was a rock and roll station, and it was a good time to get in. 1960 was at the height of rock and roll, and I saw that through 1968. There were quite a few songs I didn't care for. Elvis was a very popular singer, but he's not one that really appealed to me. One of the worst records I think I've ever heard, and I don't care to ever hear it again. It's called Bad to the Bone. 1968, I went with WSJS Radio in Winston-Salem. For the next 14 years, I worked there. The radio industry was beginning to change quite a bit, and I guess I was close to burnout, if you will, but other interests were calling. I had been doing some freelance work on the side. Discover the joys of owning a fine recreational vehicle. Come see us at Randy's RVs and join our family of happy campers. It would be easier to do this rather than the grueling day after day routine of broadcasting. So I made a giant leap forward, if you will, and decided just to go into business for myself as a freelance voiceover and on-camera talent. And it has been an interesting 20 years. I've worked with Mary Tyler Moore in a TV series that was on. It was a made-for-TV movie, and it was called Secrets of the Rose Garden. The very first thing I did was shortly after I started freelancing, the very first thing that I did was a TV miniseries. And it was on CBS in 1983, and it was called Chiefs. And I was one of the chiefs of police and got to work with Charlton Heston and Stephen Collins. Working with Charlton Heston on that mini-series on CBS was quite interesting. This was my first on-camera experience. And I was a little bit nervous. I knew the lines, but it was a long shot. We had to walk down a flight of stairs and then into a small room.
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting, Chief. You know, Hugh Holmes? Mr. Holmes. Green, long time.
Charlton Heston is a very tall person, and so am I. I'm about 6'3". So the both of us had to come through a door at the same time. And invariably, we were getting stuck in this situation is, oh, who goes first? And it got a little bit frustrating, and I was starting to flub lines and everything, and he finally calls me aside and he says, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" And I thought, oh no, I'm going to get a real dressing down. But he went over some of the basics that any time that you're in an acting situation, you have to forget yourself as the person and realize the character that you're playing. And that was one of the things that he emphasized. Forget that I'm Charlton Heston, forget that you're George Lee. Let's focus on our character parts. And once we had a chance to talk about it, then everything went quite smoothly. I think we nailed the scene in the second take on that, and it worked out very well. And I was very thankful for the fact that he took the time to talk me through this thing rather than maybe just slough me aside, you know, like when you learn your lines, come back and we'll do this. But he was quite supportive, and for that I was very grateful.
Eat your heart out, Mormon Tabernacle. That was terrific.
All right. Mr. Snavely?
Hi.
Hi, Miranda Baugh. Nice to meet
Hello.
you. I just wanted to get a good idea of why you're in to see the doctor today.
Well, I became involved with the standardized patient program at Wake Forest University Baptist Medical Center through a friend of mine. It mentioned, said they need people to take the role as a patient and help the med students improve on their interviewing techniques. Yeah, there's medications help some, but you know, I've got clear discharge over here on this side, and I'm afraid it's going to move over here, but this is the worst side because it's got that greenish, bloody discharge. So this has been a really interesting, an extension of my career, if you will. I think it helps me develop into an actor because it gives me impromptu situations, gives me a chance to certainly play a character that I wouldn't ordinarily play. Oh, I'm so sick.
Oh, poor Mr. Snavely.
Sniffles. Let me see if I can make a real gross, snotty sound in the microphone. Being single, it's got its drawbacks and it's got its plus sides too. As I jokingly say, being single, you know, you can have that extra beer if you wanted. You can eat the whole damn can of peanuts if you want to, and there's not going to be somebody saying, "Do you realize how bad that is for you?" You know, and you can scratch where it itches. Yeah, I have a lot of hobbies because that keeps me occupied, and I think being single also, I don't have to account for time so much. If I can't own a real railroad, well, I have something that allows me to be the owner of a railroad, and that's model railroading. And I've been collecting since, I was a teenager. So that's been, some years. So I have a small layout. Certainly have an awful lot of equipment, and it's just a matter of finding the time to start the actual layout. I've got a 4x8, a table that I made back when I was in junior high school and still have it, and have a small oval of track on that. If there's any point to my life that I would like to share, and I'm sure people have said this over and over again, but I'm a great believer of it, that you have to believe in yourself and the things that you can do, and also be willing to take risks, because you never know what's going to go out there. It might be like walking through a maze. You may not know what's around the next corner, but it may be the greatest thing in the world for you. Then again, it may not, but it gives us a chance. We are still decision-making human beings, and I think, you know, with a little help from above and one's own
everything they do shall prosper. It is not so with the wicked.
there was a point in my life that I'd gone through a divorce, which was very, very difficult to get through. And anybody that has ever had to go through something like that can certainly understand the pain that goes along with it, the emotional pain. But that's where faith comes into play, and you have to sometimes just put it in hands that are greater than yours. And I guess my position was, when I talked to God, was, you gave me this talent, and if this is what you want to do, perhaps the jobs will be there, and they always have. I can't explain it, but it's comforting to know you got something a little bigger than you are that can help you through times when they get really tough.
First time I saw this documentary, I knew I was in the hands of a talented filmmaker.